Hi, I'm Jason, and this is the Cultural Breakdown. This article from a couple weeks ago said that Disney has been down nearly $900 million at the global box office within this last year. And now there's this other complimentary report coming out about Disney's box office. So it's saying since 2022, that was their lowest box office in 2 decades. And specifically, it's down 70% since 2019. And a lot of excuses being thrown around about this are like things like, well, this is a post pandemic movie theater system. But it, as rightly pointed out, that if that's the case, then why are they spending hundreds of millions of dollars to produce movies for the theater? I mean, their movies are actually producing are way more expensive than the ones they've made the previous year. And in fact, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is one of the most expensive movies ever made. So why would studios be doing that for their movies if they're worried that it's a post-pandemic theater and not as many people are going to show up? In all honesty, I think that's an excuse a lot of people throw around when they have no other explanation, or they don't want to acknowledge the explanation of why a movie didn't do too well. But a lot of times there's really not a one solution or one excuse for why it did bad. It's a multitude of things. But quite simply, I mean, people just don't want to see what they have to make anymore. And the pandemic is kind of a factor on that one right now, because once that happened, people kind of got out of the habit of going to the theaters. So now people aren't not habitually going to go see the new movies. And then you also have the advent of things like the streaming services. So people are like, well, why am I going to go watch a movie when in a few months I can watch it at home for whatever, this basically for free, because they're already paying for the streaming service. So it's not really a smart move. And then you also go into the ticket sales and inflation costs and stuff like that. So people are just tired of the movie theater system right now, and they don't want to go see it anymore. And now media outlets are starting to acknowledge it. This was from Variety a couple of weeks ago, or when was this? Oh yeah, just a few days ago, talking about how, yeah, Disney is experiencing big problems at the box office because they're just having a string of flops left and right. And I mean, there's talk about like, oh, yeah, but they gross more money than any other studio. It's like, yeah, but they're also spending more money than every other studio. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're making more, if you're spending even more than that to actually produce those movies. And some people just don't get the hint right now. Like, why did Dial of Destiny do poor at the box office? I mean, they're trying to lay it on the feet of like, well, it's because Harrison Ford is so old. I mean, they even say that with The Flash, like, oh, Michael Keaton's return didn't really wow people because he's so old already. And a lot of people forgot about him as Batman and stuff like that. But if that's the case, he wouldn't be the one that everyone's praising when they saw The Flash. I mean, a lot of times with Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones, the complaint was he didn't feel like his old self. And it's like, yes, he's obviously way older now, so he's going to be a different character. But the biggest problem was that it didn't feel like it was his movie. It felt like he was the secondary character in his own movie. And that's because you get studios like Disney who have a message and are trying to push female characters. And they use legacy characters like Indiana Jones as kind of like the vessel for that. So it's like, oh, we're going to get an Indiana Jones movie, but make a female character be basically the main character for the movie. And then that's it. And that's why people don't like it, because it's not an Indiana Jones movie. It's a Helena Shaw movie featuring Indiana Jones, because the whole point is to pass the torch on to the new character that they can market from here on forward, because they know Harrison Ford isn't going to be around forever. I mean, even Kathleen Kennedy has said that she kind of wanted to see if they could do a Phoebe Waller-Bridge spin-off series with this. So that's really the issue right now, is people just don't want to see a spin-off movie right there. I mean, if anything, if they would have had Indiana Jones just one last adventure, it was just an Indiana Jones movie, it wasn't trying to set up something else, then that would have been fine. But of course, that's just the issue for this one particular movie. But it is kind of a telling for a lot of their other movies. I mean, it really is just about some type of messaging that they're pushing in that people just don't want to watch. And they're not going to give it the benefit of the doubt. They're going to wait opening weekend because they have no obligation, or they're not habitually going to go to the theaters. And if they hear there's any messaging to it, they'll just check out and not go again. But if they hear that there is no messaging in it or something like that, nothing annoying, even if they agree with the messaging, people don't want to see that. They just want to ignore their life for a couple hours and enjoy a movie. And you can't do that with current day politics. So people are just taking a wait and see approach, and they're willing to go away from anything if it seems like there's even a sniff of something current day politics in it. And until studios understand that, they're just going to keep making these same mistakes and continue to lose money. And even the occasional success that they experience, like with Disney's Guardians of the Galaxy and things like that, it's not going to work in the long run because they can't offset the costs of all their failures. But let me know what you think about all this in the comments. And if you like this video, make sure you click the like button, share the video out there, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest news. Thank you.